Amanya n'eddoboozi Uthman Sempebwa. Tuli ku Uganda Museum. Uganda Museum ogimanyiko ki? Emabegakaawo twagezaako okuba nga tukulamuza museum nga bwefaanana. Kakati no munango olunaku lwaleero waliwo ate omukolo ogw'enjawulo ogugenda kuba ogutegekeddwa. Mukolo guno tugamba nti World Museum Day. World Museum Day kubanga bagezaako okubanga balambulula abantu museums ez'enjawulo nga bwe zifaanana. Olunaku luno museum kyetwalise ekaddiizo oba amakaddiizo mu ggwanga Uganda. Emikolo gino munange gyatandikako akakabanga katono emabegakaawo bwe bagezaako okubanga batulambuza museum ez'enjawulo. Twatandikira ku Uganda Revenue Authority ne tubanga tugenda ku UBC wano nawo twatuukawo. Kakati lunaku olwaleero olunaku mulindwa lutuuse tugenda kubanga ate tulaba ebintu eby'enjawulo ebya museum nga bwe bifaanana. Olunaku olumanyiko ki? Byonna bagenda kubanga ababitulambula batubuulire lwaki balukuza, lwaki amakaddiizo nga gano gabira mu ggwanga Uganda, mugaso ki gwe galina, bintu ki omuntu byansanya okubanga alaba. Bingi nnyo ebisingako awo bagenda kubanga babitunyonnyola, naye nga nkugambye nti olunaku olwaleero lunaku lw'amakaddiizo wano mu ggwanga Uganda. Lunaku lwa nsi yonna baselebratinga, tujja kubanga tufuna ne theme oba omulama gw'omwaka guno ogenda okubanga gutambula. Katukomewo tovaawo.
They used to use the fake guns. All these are smuggled items and counterfeit goods. Then you move this side, we have all these are smuggled. Then you move to the documents that we used to use before we have the computers. This is what we used to have. If you had a logbook, that is how a driving permit, that is how it used to look like. If you had an appointment sheet, you had to first fill in this form, a routing slip, and some of these. Then we also have another collection here of our history. I'm sure some of these you might not find them anywhere. I don't know, CG, if we used some of these back then. This is a radio. This is a TV, a portable TV. This is our radio that we have. We are going to look for the other one that, I don't know, it's called a what? A drum phone. So, yeah, so these are some of our old collections. This is an adding machine. If you know this, then you know which year you were born. 9 course, there is the blue, green, and this one. Then you have this one. You had to dial in order to make a call. Then this is a recorder that we used to use back then to record some of our interviews. This was used by the minister back then, used by us to transport our cash from the different collecting stations. These were computers. Then we have our awards. There are so many, but we have just picked a few to present the awards that we have with us. Then you move to our monies, the growth in terms of collection over the years. You have from 84 and up to date. And as we keep collecting, we shall keep updating in terms of the revenue that we shall be collecting. Yeah. So basically, in summary, this is our museum.
This is a vehicle for executives, Japanese made. One would wonder why it has a UAE number when it's a 1968. But when we bring our vehicles here for change of ownership, the old number plates are scrapped off. But we want to retain these number plates because they give the heritage and history of the car. When you see a UXJ, you already relate to the age of the vehicle.
The commissioner will do kindly to allow these cars to be insured. They are given third parties also transparent.
The issue with insurance with 7 digits and 6 digits is giving us headache. I have another proud owner here. This vehicle belongs to?
Just the plate they are really out of our here. So his father's car.
He still maintains it. Justice is not in Uganda now. He's out of the country. But he managed to bring his car for the owner. Okay, fine. Let's continue. These vehicles this belongs to me, Emmanuel Semwanga. I own this one. It also has a UBE. I feel bad driving it with a UBE because it had its UDA number. But when I brought it here to change ownership, URA had to give me this. However, it doesn't identify with the car. However, it was, first of all, owned by the Ministry of Health as an ambulance. Then it went through a different modification until it came to this. This is our family car, and it's the one that holds most of the collectibles we have seen. Thank you very much. Where is the owner of this one?
This is a Nissan Quattro GQY60, manufactured between the year 1988 and 1996.
Thank you very much, Speaker. This vehicle is unique. It is owned by the only lady on this fleet. Madam, you're welcome.
Thank you. Dr. Laura here. This monster was handed to me by my father 5 years ago. I hope I will be able to hand it to one of my children, and I hope it will still be 475 new business.
That is everybody's prayer. Thank you very much. The only lady on the Land Rover group. Land Rover Classic, thank you very much. Another beautiful beauty. Thank you very much. Period correction is a new word for me.
This is a Toyota Corolla SE sedan, 1970 model. It belongs to one of the female doctors in Molago, and that is why we picked it up from scrap. Those who really want to see what it looks like, it has been abandoned somewhere. At the back.
1971, one of the unique cars we have on the ground. Wow. Kubwa, furahi kukuona. Instead of riding on a normal border, here you go. Come Muchiku.
za aha 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 shaba aha rekana tarikuba kwata yo pora pora au takandika basi iwe wakunene wamre leo mitara kwenye sikazi jo sikazi ni gogo bale utsali kumora usije ni bote onisho manyo wasiba ni atkekabo wakunene iraisha kwani ati iwe bidio zirende ozirende iwe oine kuzo ine utoide na kwende abantu bakarubira bakaba betana berundana batandika okutebya n'okugana batera engoma batagula eshakushakushaku inakutera katakweba shakushakushaku enakoloko yeralise ogeza akwatakwata iwe omugusha inourukushokulumu omanyi mu Uganda tuline ebintu birungi koko norebeshozi warebe kugera wareba empesitwine abakaza bitwine ukareba naka esemuji bene tushebelero kumumigara nozaka hati ikaba shabuzi bitu bakushabuzi rwakuneno yabacho ati mwana we yakubura bicheche kakana bakabara barakata bachukua kwa kaya gashoka enda kwero Karvata kafujo kati katika nataka katika kuna itashu. Yoje. Haya leo.
They are recognizing this day in one way or another. And so we also join in this celebration as a way of raising awareness that we are here and we are at your disposal. We want to play a role in your lives. Ladies and gentlemen, today's theme, this year's theme, as guided by the International Council of Museums, is museums, the future of museums, recover and reimagine. This theme comes after a difficult period, and that is the COVID-19, which affected the entire world, and museums were shut all across the world. And we have opened. We are struggling because the situation is not yet back to normal, but the theme is encouraging us to recover and reimagine, invent as many ways as possible for us to be visible in the public. Not to just sleep and wait for the situation to come back to normal, but to find alternative ways, apart from the ordinary ways of getting the objects, putting them in the showcases, and waiting for the visitors and the schools to come over. Find ways of enticing the public to come to us, or if they are slow to come to us, find ways of reaching the public, the communities upcountry, and this is what we are trying out. Thursday, we started with the e-quiz. We had to do it digitally. It was e-quiz at all the 6 regional centers. We tried, and we think it can work with the museum. Without the children coming here, we can come up with ways digitally. We can come up with apps that can enable the teachers to take the museum to their classrooms back home. We've just seen a performative display by our House of Talent. We're also thinking that this kind of displays that are educative can take performance. We can become a platform of these performative displays and as a way enrich the public to learn more apart from what is in the showcases, but from the teams like these ones who tell the story through music, dance, and drama. And we can, as a museum, become a platform of the kind of entertainment. We're also thinking that digitally we can organize exhibitions online and take them out to the public wherever they are. They can reach us wherever they are. And that is the theme of today. And I want to thank you for being able, all of you, to come here and to witness how we recover and how we imagine doing things differently from the static ways that we've been going through. And with those few words, once again, thank you so much for being here with us. I'll get back to you, the MC.
Thank you so much.
My name is Samuel Kizalwa, Assistant Commissioner Museums and the first elected chairperson of the ICOM Uganda National Committee. I welcome you to this International Museums Day. Uganda is celebrating this year's International Museums Day when it is a member of the International Council of Museums, ICOM. This is a remarkable achievement for this nation and museum fraternity in Uganda. The International Council of Museums was established in 1946 in Paris, France, by a group of museum professionals. It had an objective of linking up museums worldwide for their development. To date, there are over 37,000 members of ICOM in 141 countries. Uganda registered the first member of ICOM in 1977, and he is Mr. Blaise Patrick, who served for a long time at the UNESCO offices in Paris. He has been an active member of ICOM since then and is applauded for that. The drive to have Uganda become a member of ICOM started in 2019. Mobilization for individual membership was carried out and up to 17 museum workers applied. As of now, there are 16 ICOM members in Uganda who are part of the National Committee. More applications for membership since then have been submitted to the ICOM Secretariat. The National Committee operates on behalf of ICOM International to link museums in the country for their development. Activities of the National Committee include mobilization for membership to ICOM, mapping out museums in the country, assess their status, lobby for technical assistance and trainings, and spearhead participation in international functions concerning museums. We are pleased to launch the ICOM Uganda National Committee on this occasion of the 2021 International Museum Day celebrations. It has the executive board composed of the chairperson, the vice chairperson, secretary, treasurer, and the rest of committee members and members are members of the committee. The National Committee has programmed to start with mobilization of membership to ICOM and mapping out of their museums in the country the coming financial year. ICOM established International Museums Day in 1977, and that's why we are celebrating. It had an objective of raising awareness of the fact that museums are an important means of cultural exchange, enrichment of culture, and development of mutual understanding, cooperation, and peace among people. Each year since then, ICOM has provided a theme to be celebrated upon by participating museums, and this year's theme has been mentioned by and elaborated on by the Commissioner. The theme for this year makes everyone get moved. The future of museums, recover and reimagine. Museums are being urged to shift from the traditional tendency of depending on physical visits to the exhibition galleries by their audience, but they should embrace technology as a way of coping up with new trends. The application of virtual museums that can be accessed by their audiences from wherever they are may be the way. Museum publics should reach the museum and get what is available anywhere, from any time, from anywhere. This will minimize a break in visitorship during such unavoidable circumstances like pandemics. Therefore, by making use of this year's theme, museums in Uganda ought to undertake a recovery program of gradually embracing technology to modernize their exhibits. Museums should continue to encourage domestic tourism, which is the most practical experience during the post-pandemic era. Museums should become more innovative by making frequent outreaches rather than waiting for visitors to come to them. Through a combination of strategies, museums shall become vibrant, active throughout the year. I therefore urge museum workers to join the International Council of Museums for their development. We look forward to having better professionals, better links, and better museums. Wishing you an enjoyable celebration. Thank you.
Our invited guests, I want in a special way to welcome the children. Children, are you okay? I know you are going to be awarded and I can't wait to celebrate with you. The teachers and everyone who has made the quizzes possible. I want to recognize the staff of the ministry, directors, commissioners, executive directors of our agencies, and I want to thank House of Talent. That Chitaguru was blowing my heart away. I wanted to join in, but the space was not enough. I was probably not also well attired, but it was really something. I thank you for that. I am not going to repeat what the commissioner has said, and I have not recognized the president of ICOM. I don't know how the commissioner is managing to supervise the whole president. Mr. Kizarwa, Honorable Minister, is the president of ICOM. I think you heard him now speaking in his capacity as president. We want to thank him for what ICOM has done specifically in celebrating the International Museums Day 2021. I want to thank the commissioner, the department in particular, commissioner and your staff, for making this colorful. So we've already been told that this is done annually. We always observe the International Museums Day, but 2021 is different in that we're celebrating amidst the pandemic. And indeed, the theme for this year talks about that, the future of museums, recover and reimagine. And I hope as we recover from the pandemic, we will come up with ways and means of being innovative and making the museums not just the physical places where we come to see artifacts, but museums that speak to the communities, museums like the commissioner was saying that reach out to the communities. Honorable Minister, I think you can see from what is here, what has been presented and what is yet to be presented, why we have been talking about changing the name of the ministry. Because when we talk about antiquities, we are really not saying what we do at the museum and what we want to cover in terms of the cultural experience, in terms of promoting our culture. Like what we have just seen in the dances, what you see this morning. We want to embrace culture in its entirety. And we hope that time will come when, as a ministry, we embrace culture in its broad sense. Now, as we promote the role of museums in society, the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities has planned several activities at innovating cultural experience and connecting with the public. Honorable ministers and all our invited guests must have seen yesterday, we started off by flagging off the vintage car tour. I don't know whether this has been covered anywhere in the papers today, but many people were asking me, what has the ministry got to do with vintage cars? What has it got to do with URA? But I think by the end of the tour, we all realized why. Now, these vintage cars were being driven by so many people who have a lot of attachment to them. I was particularly touched by, I think, two cases. One car which is as old as 60 years, I think from 1960, and another Land Rover which was being driven by a young lady who is also a medical doctor, but who inherited this car from her father, and she has restored it and intends in future to hand it over to one of her children. Now that's what heritage is about. So when we went to URA, these vintage car owners and drivers got a chance to speak to the Commissioner General of URA, and their appeal was that can they be allowed to keep the old number plates? Because every time they change ownership, the cars are given new numbers. Now that kind of kills the whole idea of the vintage, because you have a car of 1970 and it has a number plate of 2011. So as part of celebrating International Museums Day, the ministry organized several activities, including that vintage tour. And the tour also stopped at the different organizations that have museums, particularly Bank of Uganda, URA, Parliament, Bank of Uganda. And I want to say that we as a ministry, and particularly the department, has been instrumental in helping these other organizations to establish their museums. Yesterday we had a tour of the URA museum, and some of their staff have been trained by the department here. So I applaud the department in what they are doing. We have had the quizzes. Honorable Minister, you will later be awarding the winners. I know everybody is a winner that has participated, but some will be awarded. And again, this is an effort to promote our heritage, which will enable the present and future generations to enjoy and benefit from our heritage. I therefore applaud all the partners who have worked with us, who have partnered, who have supported the celebrations of International Museums Day for today, for allowing to be part of this celebration. I also applaud the conservation work being done by these other organizations I talked about, the Bank of Uganda, Parliament, URA, and for the support they have accorded to our own museum, and all the other private and community museums. I don't know whether they are represented here. We have a number of community museums who are also supposed to be part of this initiative. I'm not going to give a long speech. I want to welcome you and hope that you'll enjoy this day. And now at this point, allow me to invite the Minister to speak to you. Hello, Minister.
We have King's Kids Primary School as the second runners-up. We also have Sister Miriam Dagan Primary School as the first runners-up. And the winner for this year's competition in primary is Sunrise Primary School, Dagan, Kampala. I'd love to invite the three schools that have won this year to come up front here to receive the accolades from the Honorable Minister. Second runners-up. The school is Sister Miriam. Sister Miriam Primary School. Yeah, okay. King's Kids Primary School, Sorority. And lastly, can we have the winners? Sunrise Preparatory School, Kabale.
executive directors, the president of ICOM, Professor Kamahangire, Miss Tourism Uganda, professionals who are here, artists, Rotarians, vintage and collectibles fellowship members, senior staff, Uganda Revenue Authority, Bank of Uganda, Parliament, I don't see Parliament, UBC, and Minister of Tourism, media fraternity, and friends who have come to participate in today's function. First of all, let me thank the group which performs to compete with you, isn't it? But maintain leadership and win. I wish on behalf of the Ministry, Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, and on my own behalf to welcome you to this occasion of the International Museums Day celebrations 2021. We are excited to be here today because all the museums in the world are participating to take participants as we create activities connected with promoting the role of museums in society. If you go to a country, it has no museums, isn't it? Then that country is not civilized. Do you understand what I mean? If you go to a country and ask, can I go to a museum? And they say, we don't have, isn't it? Then you be careful because that country may have no history, isn't it? So that's very, very important. The theme of this year's celebration is the future of museums, recover and reimagine. As a sector, the tourism sector, we promote the role of museums in society, and the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities has planned several activities aimed at innovating cultural experience and connecting with the public. I reiterate and develop mutual understanding as we celebrate a collective heritage and further get to know the history of our areas. President Kizalwa made a very important statement here where he said that museums are an important means of cultural exchange, enrichment of cultures, and development of mutual understanding, cooperation, and peace among people. That's a very, very strong, very, very important statement. And if you were to analyze item by item, then you have heritage, isn't it? Then you have the museums. Then you can go to New York Museum and see. Then you can go to the London Museum and you see. Then you can go to France, as he has been saying. And France is one of the most distinguished countries as far as cultural heritage in Europe is concerned. And you know this very well. So don't be surprised why UNESCO headquarters, isn't it? Are where? Where? In Paris. Because of the cultural heritage, because of the importance France puts on culture, heritage, etc. Following, unfortunately, the outbreak of COVID, many museums were closed and our communities faced many social changes. Therefore, museums need to be innovative, to provide cultural experience and showcase how the urban communities have been so affected and the levels of resilience. Resilience, the capacity to fight on and survive. To this, we are showcasing the COVID-19 Urban Resilience Exhibition at the Uganda Museum, focusing on creativity in masks, sanitizers, testimonies of people walking, as well as slogans and social distance aspects. I, as well, wish to use today to applaud Mr. John Mbavazi, a fellow of the Royal Society of Public Health, Associate Fellow of Royal College of Physicians, of the International Royal Institute of Public Health, a multiple award-winning author and plaque winner, an evangelist and spiritual leader, having written over 150 books in medicine, public health, and spiritual books. This will be an inspiration. Mr. Johnson is an achiever researcher who has made us proud and donated his Achiever Research Awards to Uganda Museum. This will be an inspiration and encouragement to many young people, particularly in the field of research. I wish to appeal to the young people to emulate him. Ladies and gentlemen, at sector level, as we celebrate the International Museums Day, we do create space for improving the education to school pupils through creating exhibitions targeted towards children and teaching them in a quasi-classroom environment. The education quiz, which has been crowned today, is one such space. Lastly, let me thank the partners, those who have been with us participating. Uganda Revenue Authority, the Kikonyogo Mane Museum, the UBC Archives, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation Archives, Parliament of Uganda, and the Cross-Cultural Foundation of Uganda for taking the initiative of participating in the celebrations. I want to thank you for turning up. I want to thank the press for giving this function, isn't it, the respect it deserves, and turning up in such a big number to participate. Journalism these days covers more political things, isn't it? Political things, isn't it? Than actual heritage, isn't it? Cultural things like this one. So I thank you. Fortunately, that is my profession, isn't it? So I really thank you that you can turn up and grace this function, isn't it? And we would like to see this function in papers, see this function on television, hear it on radio, and of course the social media, so that people can understand that Uganda is a country that honors, recognizes its culture, its heritage, and this function has taken place here at the Uganda Museum, and we have all been here. I thank you for God and my country. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I'm doing a collection of them and to customize them for tourism. So I'll be doing city tours using the scooters. The reason behind doing this is the scooter rides are very unique in the make, and they are so attractive, and then they are long lasting. If you can have a look at this, it was made in 1962, and it has been on the road for all those years. You are very much welcome.
Thank you very much.
And may I, Johnson is with us? Yes, Johnson, you're welcome. We are stopping here. Honorable, we are stopping here.
Honourable Minister. Honourable Minister, as earlier mentioned, we are privileged to have Mr. Johnson Mbabazi with his accolades present here with us today, and we request that you unveil this donation to the Uganda National Museum. Thank you. After which, Johnson will say something small about his work in the UK. Thank you.
Stand.
Honourable Minister, thank you very much. Welcome to you on the table.
Not only to maintain the history, but also to see how far we have gone from this very point where things were done, like each and everything of all this is for a specific company, the details would this for a specific company for a given period of time. So this is how they were being recorded for all the companies. Like for example, this Butuku Combined Traders Company Limited, they were paying, so this is when they were being recorded in here. On this one is how this licensing document where your motor vehicle, whether a motorcycle or a car, would be.
Tukyali ffenna ku Star TV emnyenye eggwanga amanya n'eddoboozi Uthman Sempebwa okubanga tukutusako programu yaffe ey'omulamuzi. Jjukira lunaku olw'omukaaga essaawa ziba 2:30 ez'akawungeezi mu kutukulamuliza eggwanga Uganda. Kakati munnange olunaku olwaliro nga bwe nakutegeezezza nti olunaku olwaliro lunaku lwa kujaguza eri amakaddiizo gonna mu ggwanga Uganda. Batandise olunaku lwajjo okubanga bayisa ebivulu mu kibuga ky'emmotoka enkadde ne bagezaako okubanga mwabirabye okuva ku URA ne bagenda ku UBC ne bayita ku Palamenti bawo ku Bank of Uganda paka wano ku Uganda Museum olunaku olwaliro. Akati munnange olunaku olwaliro lunaku lwa njawulo nga maaso gange nina omugenyi waffe olunaku olwaliro agenda okubanga atunnyonnyola olunaku luno lutegeeza ki era lwaki balukuza mu ggwanga Uganda oba mu nsi yonna. Amanya gaffe.
Amanya bampita Samuel Kizalwa, nkolera wano ku Uganda Museum nga ndi Assistant Commissioner akulira ebya museums, naye ate omwaka guno banonda okubeera nga nze President wa ekitongole ekya ICOM, International Council of Museums, ekirabirira ebya museums mu Uganda ku lwa International Council of Museums ey'ensi yonna.
Njagala tutandikirawo wennyini bw'oyogera ku museum oba ekkaddiizo omuntu aba ategeera ki?
Ekkaddiizo kifo kya bulambuzi era kya byabuwangwa, ng'ekifo ekyo bakiteekawo okukuuma ebintu ebyobuwangwa mu nsi ebeerawo. Ebyobuwangwa tuba twogera ku ebyo ebintu abantu bye bayiseemu okuva emabega eri ne bibeera nti tubikuuma tulage abantu jjwa gye tuva nawa we tugenda, wawe tuli kati wa gye tugenda, bibeere nti abaana babijjirako n'aba abalizaalibwa mu maaso babanga babiyigawo ne bamanya emabega twakola ebintu byalinga bitya abantu baffe batambulanga batya mu nsi kati tuliwa era tusuubira kugenda wa kale eryo kifo kya byabuwanga era wano mu Uganda Museum kyo kya ggwanga yonna wadde tulina ebyobuwangwa kati bye tukkiriza abantu nti obeera nawe ekifo ekyobuwangwa ekikyo oba institution yonna kebenga oba religious institutions oba bino ebitongole bya gavumenti nabyo bisobola okubeera n'ekifo ekyobuwangwa ekyabwe okuuma ebyo ebintu bye bayitamu so edikadi izo kintu bya bintu bye tuyiseemu okutuuka leero nawa gye tuyinza okugenda mu maaso.
Omuntu njagala omuwa ekifaananyi singa aba avudde gy'avudde ng'azze wano ku Uganda Museum ogambe y'ensi eya Uganda yonna ne amakadiiza amalala agali mu ggwanga Uganda njagala okubeere nga ogatulambulako akatono nga bwe kafaana singa amanze wano ku Uganda Museum kiki kye nina okusangawo?
Ku Uganda Museum bw'oba ozeewo ogenda kusanga ebintu gye tuyise okuva abafuzi b'amatwale we bayingirirawo kuba be batandikiriza okusolooza ebintu ebikwata ku mbeera y'abantu mu nsi mu Uganda muno nga bajja era ebyo byonna okuva mu 1908 obisanga wano ku Uganda Museum. Ebyo bintu tutegeeza ki abantu eyebweru babirina ebintu bye bayitamu bulamu obw'ensi mu ngeri gye balimamu ebirime byabwe mu mawanga agali mu Uganda ebituluze ebintu bye bakozesa mu kulima oteekeko ne gundi ebifumbirwamu ebyo ebinwebwamu emizannyo engeri gye balaba gye basalangamu emisango nga conflict obutabanguko buzze mu society yaabwe mwe babeera oteekeko ne basinganga nnyo kugenda mu nsiko eyo okuyiga ebisolo eby'omu nsiko bwe tutyo otuuka olwo ku tekinologi ebiki ebiriwo bye bayinza okubeera nga abazungu b'amatwale baleeta nga bamaze okusinziira ku ebyo abantu bennyini bye baayiyanga ng'ebyo amadinda n'entongooli na biki ebyo byojja okusanga mu museum omanye nti abantu obulamu mu Uganda wano bayita mu butya byebyo naye kati nga tekinologiya bwagenze mu maaso kati nabyo tulina okubiteeka mu museum abantu bamanye nti bwe twava ku biri kati tuzze ku bino ebireeteddwa naffe bye twekolera bennyini kuba obisanga mu museum n'oteekeko n'enfuga obufuzi mu Uganda butambudde butya twaviira ddala eyo mu kwefuga mu byalo n'abafuzi baffe abatongole na biki engeri we tubadde political system etambudde etya mu Uganda nabyo bisanga mu museum.
Mu ggwanga Uganda awamu tulinawo museum meka bw'obanga osobola okuba nga ozirina ku mutwe gwo era nga zituyambye tutya okulaba nga tukuuma ebyobuwangwa byaffe ebintu byonna ebikaddizo.
Museums kati eno ye tuyita National Museum ye tuyita museum eya Uganda yonna yo yatandikibwawo nga ekwata mu regions zonna ebifo mu Uganda okuva engulu okwate wano mu makati ode mu west ne mu east obuvwenjuba eyo nga byonna tubisoloza okubiteeka wano n'obeera nti eri one stop center omuzungu bwakiyita bw'ati wojja okusanga ebintu byonna bye badde byasoloza mu Uganda naye ate twamala ne tugonzaamu ne tutandikawo ne museums ez'ebitundu nga nazo ziri national kati tulina eri Soroti ng'eyekwata mu buvwanjuba naye ng'esinga nnyo okukwata mu ezo kalica obuwangwa obwa Soroti awo ne Karamoja bwe butyo kuba Soroti yava mu Karamoja kati ne tubeera n'ey'Emoroto gye twateekayo nga twagala okulaga abantu gundi ekitone ab'Emoroto abakaramoja kye balina kuba nakyo kiri special nnyo ne tugiteekayo eyo balina kalica ebyabwe engeri gye beeyisaamu nga sefaanagana nnyo n'abalala ne tuteekayo museum Kabaale ng'eyekwata kuba mu Western Uganda ebintu bwe beeyisa gundi mu buwangwa bwabwe
ezo ze ziri national kati ze tulina naye mu maaso tugenda kuteekemu mu Arua mu financial ya mu mwaka ogwa 23 24 tegenda kubeera ye ya Arua tubeere ne Fort Portal kuba eyo eri tourism city naye erina ebintu ebitone bye twagala okuteekayo. Eza government museum ziri nnya kati naye tulina plan okwongerayo 2. Waliwo ze tuyita community museums ez'ebitongole z'abantu nga si za muntu kinoomu. Kati ezo mulimu ng'eye Namugongo ey'Abangulikani Abaprotestanti ne wabeerawo emu eri Makindi awo Museum of Religion nayo eri mu layini eyo ne zibeerawo Buganda Museum nayo eri mu nkotegeka okuteekawo ezo zibeeranga community ezo teziri nnyingi nnyo okujjako nti waliwo ze tuyita ate institutions era nazo za community naye ate nga za institution bitongole nga kati olwaleero lwe tukuza olunaku olwa International Museums Day tuleesaaza ebitongole eya Uganda Revenue Solo Authority abasoloza emisolo kyo kitongole, Bank of Uganda nakyo kitongole, ne tubeera ne Parliament nakyo kitongole, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation naye eri mu ntegeka nakyo kitongole, balina archive naye baagala ebeere museum kuba batugambye nti abantu tebakkirizibwa kugenda mu archive records ezo ne tubawa amagezi nti bateekewo abantu bye bayinza okulabirako nga ebyo bye batuleetedde olwaleero ku museum. Kati ne mubeeramu ne private ezaakyo omuntu kinoomu ezo zo nnyingi kuba ziweredde ddala 35.
Tukuzizza olunaku lw'amakaddizo mu ggwanga. Njagala tutandikirawo.
Olunaku lw'amakaddizo lwateekebwawo ekitongole kye bayita International Council of Museums, ekitongole ekyensi yonna ekikwata ekirabirira amakaddizo mu nsi yonna. Kyaluteekawo mu mwaka gwa 1946 nga kimaze okulaba nti amakaddizo gano mu nsi naddala ffe zino ezaagalo ezikula obukuzi twaliti nga ebintu bigenda ebyobuwangwa tubitwala nga kintu kikulu nnyo kuba okujjako nga abo abasomyeko naye abantu eyo munda eyo mu byalo eyo balinga tebajjumbira bya buwangwa bino ne bateekawo ekitongole ekyo okubeera nti tukuuma ebintu bye tuyiseemu bibeere nti bikuumibwa bulungi biraga wa gye tuvudde era nga biwa sitore ebiraga nti birina omugaso mu kukuza eggwanga eryo. Kakati ne tuteekawo olunaku luno olwa International Museums Day mu 1977 era awo lwe lwateekawo nga luteekawo n'omulamwa buli mwaka nti luteeka okuzibwa okusinziira ku mulamwa gwe lwateekawo. Omulamwa ogwo gubeera nti tulina ogugoberera okuva olwo lwe luguteekeddwawo ne tubeera nti lube kimu ku bye tugoberera mu museum zaffe. Kakati ng'omwaka guno tubadde n'omulamwa ogugamba nti mu maaso ga museum muli mutya. Twagala okwedaabuluza gye tuvudde kye tubaddemu kati tutandike okulowooza ngeri ki gye tusobola okubeerawo singa emitabanguko bubaddewo. Mu tekinologi yonaze omuntu asobola okumanya ebigenda mu maaso mu museum ng'asinziira eyo gy'ali. Era oyo tekinologiya gwe batutaddemu nga bwe mbagambye nti omulamwa buli gwe tubeerako tulina oguteeka mu nkola. Tubeere nti tuteekamu enteekateeka abantu balabe ebintu ku mutimbagano okuva eyo gye bali biki bye twagala okubalaga nga batibabira ku mutimbagano. Abazungu ng'abo kampeekizaampe ekyo kuba bajjumbira nnyo baagala okumanya obuwangwa bwaffe. Tajja kwonoona na ssente kutambula kujja wano. Ajja kukyalira museum yo eyo yonna gy'ali era alabe kyayagala. Era bw'aba takirabye ekyo ajja kubuuza nti wakiri kimumpeeko kino nakyo ne mubeera nti mukimulaga ne mukiteekako.
Nga tumaliriza njagala obubaka bw'osembayo eri bannayuganda eri amakaddizo gano ne gavumenti plan oyinza ojjukubira okuba nga batumbula amakaddizo gano mu ggwanga.
Amakaddizo gano gatandika dda kakati nga eno eyaffe Uganda Museum we tuliwo yazimbibwa mu 1954 era nebeera nti yalina ebintu ebyasolozibwa tubirina mu bungi ebimu bikyali mu masitoowa bijjudde eyo abantu tebalina mukisa gubiraba kati twateekamu omulanga era kiri njagala okubuulira eggwanga nti gavumenti yakiteeka mu nkola egenda kugaziya compound nene tugenda kugaziya museum tubeere nti ebyo abantu bye babadde tebalaba tubiteeka mu bizimbe ebipya bye tugenda okuzimba n'ebyo bye tubadde tetuteekamu okubridginga gaapu okuva biro twasoloza mu 1980 twakoma nnyo mu 1980 okutuuka kati tubeere nti abantu bamanya technology trend ebadde etambula etya tukonekitinga ebikadde ebiri mu museum biti n'ebipya ebiriwo era twagala okukubira ebyo gavumenti ekikolako mwaka guno ogujja plans ez'okuzimba ogaziya ekaddiyo za museum we ziri ne challenge gye tulina kati y'abantu kulowooza nti museum sinzigule bulungi abantu tebajja bulungi kuba bamanyi bagiggala tugezezaako okulaga abantu nti tuliwo baggule era okuza olunaku nga luno kiba kimu ku makubo ge tuyitamu okulaga abantu nti we tuli mujje mukole kimu mutukyalire kuba ebyo ebikwata ku kwetangira obulwadde tubirina tubikozesa so tusaba amasomero kati nga bwe gatandise okuggulawo baleete abaana bajje balabe museum abantu ba bulijjo bino ebintu biyamba muntu wa bulijjo Omunayuganda okumanya ebyobuwangwa bwe nabo tubakubiriza bajje bakyalire museum ziri ku mabbali ezo nazo tugaziziza tuteekamu ebintu abantu bazikyalire bamanye ebyobuwangwa bwaffe zino National Museum ng'ezaffe si bifo bya kola ssente bintu bya kuyamba bantu bamanye kalicha obuwangwa bwabwe na ngeri ki gye buyamba bo n'okuba nti abaana babakuliza mu buwangwa obwo babeere nti bamanye ensi bw'etambula etya yesebo
tweyanziza nnyo mukama wange okubanga osobodde otulambulira embeera eyo nga bwefaana nti kansubire naawe omulabi wa Star TV n'abantu kino mu ggwanga Uganda mugezezaako okulaba nga mumanya omugaso gw'amakaddiyizo mu ggwanga Uganda Museum ndikaddiyiza ekkulu erya Uganda awamu n'amatabi amalala ge bagezezaako okuba nga bakola ki nga batondawo okuba nga bagezaako okuba nga batereka ebintu eby'enjawulo okuva mu bitundu ebyo ebyesudde eggwanga olunaku olwaliro lunaku lubadde lwakujagaza wano ku Uganda Museum ku kaddiyizo ekkulu kansubire nti ebintu obulabye era obiyize mu bulungi katwetulole mu katono temuvaawo katukomewo tubadde mu bikujjuko bya kusanyuka na kujaguza amakaddiyizo gonna mu nsi yonna era ng'emikolo emikulu gikwatibwa wano ku Uganda Museum mu Kampala ebintu kansubire nti obirabe kansubire nti ebintu obitegedde wano wenkugambira nti yitayo ojja olabe obuwangwa nga bwe bufaanana okuva ku maddiini abantu bonna okuva 1960 eyo mu myaka gya wansi gyonna byonna mu Uganda Museum obisanga era tugambye nti waliwo ne plan y'okuba nga bagaziya ekifo kino kyonna bateekemu ebintu eby'enjawulo ebyaleero n'ebyemyaka egiwedde era nga waliwo n'omulamu ogugenda mu maaso okulaba nti ne bw'oba oli wakawwo ojja kubeera ng'oteekako essimu yo obeere ng'olambula naye ng'olambula amakaddiyizo gano sigenda kubanga nsingako wano olunaku lwaleero njagala okubeera nga neebuuza kamera pasoni wange olwaleero tasayinka agezezaako okubanga akola ekifaananyi ekyo Ramon Alirin musunsuzi wa programu Kiwanuka Rashid Mutesitesi ne Michael Sebalu kameramani waffe ge tugenda kubanga tutambula naye musule bulungi mweraba